All right, welcome back to the Alt-ernative podcast.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, come
New
back.
background.
New background, new setting. As we've been doing the podcast, we've both been in like so many different settings.
Yeah, you're in your third one.
Mm. Oh yeah, your second one.
That'll be my third one soon.
Yeah,
That should be my permanent fixture.
yeah. We might have a live studio there.
Right. So I reckon the next couple of podcasts might just be us two, right?
Yeah, we've come back, took a break. We're gonna come back with some fresh ideas and then go back to bringing some guests on again shortly.
Yeah. And then we'll keep just us two as like a regular thing with guests on the odd podcast. I think that's the best route to take.
Yeah, definitely. So for our subscribers that were with us at the beginning, all 21 of you, when we used to do this format, we're just going to talk about a few cool things and see where it takes us. So this is the new format we're going to go with. The first thing that I've got to talk about is Google's new, what they call state-of-the-art quantum chip. And it's called Willow, they've called it. I'll share this bad boy. Okay, well, when we were talking earlier about quantum, we did mention that we understand the fundamentals of what quantum means in computing terms, but it's a very hard thing to understand on a technological level of how it actually works.
It's something like do you think it's one of those things that once you understand it, it'll just click? Because when I don't know if it's like a technology similar to like the blockchain. Everyone used to talk about the blockchain this, blockchain that, and there's only like it took me a bit to get my head around the blockchain for me to fully understand it, and then everything just clicked. But I don't know if quantum computing is the same, or is it something that we're never really going to fully understand, not coming from like a technological science background.
Yeah, as in we're our minds aren't our minds aren't mature enough to
Not
comprehend.
mature, it's more like we're not in that space. So is it something that we'll never fully be able to comprehend? Or is it something where once it becomes more popular and mainstream, people will start to be able to describe it in more of a simplistic way for the average person to understand?
Like layman terms.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we're going to touch on AI throughout this episode, but I'm pretty sure I think quantum computing needs to be here to power AI to its full potential, and at the same time, I think AI is going to have the ability to teach us things in the exact way that we like. Because do you know, like when you're in school or whatever, and you have to do these tests, and they're like, "Oh, you're a visual learner, you're a whatever, like a whatever the other kinds were." I think AI is going to go that step further and be like, "Oh, I know exactly what visuals this guy learns from, or what videos he learns from, or what tone of voice really comprehends this guy, and what use of vocabulary and what use of grammar." I feel like we're going to be spoilt for choice in what we want to learn, or what we the opportunities become endless when they can really tailor learning to you.
Or we get tips that we just download it. Yeah. You just like download it, you're like, yeah, I fully understand this now.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah, it's like downloading a film, right? You put it on download and then in a few minutes it's done. It'd be like it's downloading a full like 10,000 books on a certain topic. And you're like, yeah, I know everyone's thoughts on it. But when I was doing some research on this one before, I did take a few notes on quantum computing because I was like, I want to bring this onto the table, but I just don't understand quantum computing. But on a basic level, you know how a computer uses bits like zero and one. So the computer right now for us is 0101 in to be able to
Yeah.
activate what it is doing. What quantum computer does it uses what's called qubits, and they represent multiple states. So rather than 0 and 1, the same way you can see a lot of things in life is between 0 and 1. This does infinitely more on a level which
Sorry. So quantum, I think from what I've learned about it is it can use zero and one at the same time. Is that right?
maybe, yeah, because it says that it can use 0 and 1, or it can use multiple states simultaneously.
But in like simplistic terms, is it like 60 million times faster than a standard computer? Well, not a standard computer, but I think our fastest just generic traditional computer is it 60 million times faster? Is that right?
So I've got here that it's a, a classic supercomputer. So I guess we're in a classic stage
Yeah,
now.
like your traditional, yeah.
If that computer was to take 10,000 years to solve something, the same problem addressed by a quantum computer or quantum supremacy computer would take 200 seconds.
All right, fucking hell.
So I think that's why it's hard to comprehend because it's insane.
Here's what I saw: 241 million times faster.
241 million. Yeah. It's definitely a lot faster than the 60,000 or whatever. It's just insane. Because I think as the new editions of, if we're going to call them classic computers and what we're using now, I think they become far more superior than 60 times faster, like 60,000 times faster each time they come out. So if you look at like the computer I've got here compared to one that we would have had when we were kids growing up,
Yeah,
it's insane how much fast. Like just connecting to this was like a click of a button and I'm on a call with you. Whereas doing that back in the day would have took about an hour for it to connect. I guess.
yeah. Like
And
the computers we had back in the day weren't as near as powerful as these things that we keep in our hand.
yeah, which is insane, right? Because these are things are
Yeah,
tiny.
yeah.
Um, well, yeah, I know we're going to talk about NVIDIA later, but there's some spicy stuff going on with that company um, as well. But yeah, let's quickly go over Willow though and learn what. So this is they're going hardware. I know they've got their Gemini, which from personal use, it's a bit not as good as ChatGPT in terms of AI software. ChatGPT is just insane. Um, Signal performance, Willow, reduce errors, more qubits. So it's all about these qubits here.
So with quantum computing, it's not going to be something we'd ever have at home. It's all going to be cloud based, server based stuff, right?
Yeah, that's where we're going to talk about NVIDIA a bit later on because these guys are creating the chip, and companies like NVIDIA are obviously seeing this chips coming out and being like, well, to really utilize it, how do we get it? How do we make it consumer friendly? Or how do you get it into the market? And it is by the rest, like the motherboards and all that stuff. You need to build the rest of the stuff around it. Um, so yeah, I don't know in terms of like cloud computing where what happens because the worrying thing is you can see it being Google making one supercomputer and it's just I don't know underground somewhere and everyone just plugs into it through the cloud and there's just one absolute and it must be it'll be huge it'll be like the size of the pyramids or something.
10 septillion years. How the fuck what is that?
Septillion is
Fucking hell.
this is the number here. I think
How many zeros are on that?
this is it.
7 zeros? No,
Seven,
way more, sorry.
3, 6, 9, 12. There's 24. Oh, it's 24, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 10 to the power 24. Fucking hell. That's like a number that you're unable to brand that number.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, it's that far fetched. Like, there's nothing we can relate to in our lives. I don't think. Maybe our brains to a certain degree. Like, we can think about multiple things at once. But even then, I don't think we can think about this many things at once.
No, because I think even like a billion is hard to actually comprehend. Like, have you seen those videos of it shows how much $1 billion is in cash?
Yeah, well, I've seen it. Yeah, where they have like a grain or something, and like this is one
Yeah,
grain, this is 1,000 grains,
yeah.
10,000 grains, and then a billion's like fucking you can't move.
And when you think Elon's got how much is he worth? 180 billion.
That's insane. What I heard something about him. What was it? If Elon Musk, he's worth 415 billion. Look at these guys, man. It makes them look broke.
Jesus, he is like on a different level.
There was something about he could buy all of the NFL teams, all of the Premier League football teams, all of the hockey teams, all of the NBA teams, and still have money left over.
That's crazy. He is off topic. He is the number one Diablo player. I was listening to Rogan and Duncan Trussell, and they were saying that he's number one in the world at Diablo.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Diablo 4.
Yeah, and they're saying that how can he be doing all this stuff and still be like have the time to become number one at a game?
He must have put the Neuralink in his head a far superior way.
Duncan Trussell was I'm pretty convinced he's an alien.
Because them video games are like Diablo. They're like grind ones. Do you know where you've got to grind them out?
Yeah. Mm. I didn't know much about it when I was listening to it. I just thought I'd do a quick Google, and it looks like one of them games you got to put shift in to get good at it.
Yeah, like World of Warcraft or
Yeah, it looks a bit like League of Legends style, right?
yeah, it's like bird's eye view it kind of. I think
Yeah, yeah, but I don't understand where he finds the time to do all that.
he's running some of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, not only the biggest, like some of the most innovative companies.
Yeah, I mean the guy's trying to get to Mars. He's got a car company. I mean, just owning a car company itself would probably take up most people's life.
Yeah, he's digging tunnels in LA.
Yeah, this is questionable.
And he still manages to post loads of fucking tweets all day long. There's something questionable going on there.
If he manages to tweet, he's number one player of Diablo 4. He's got all of these companies. He's just joined the US government, or he's got at least a role in the US government. Yeah. I wouldn't. I wonder how interesting it would be just to spend a week shadowing him.
Something, I don't know, something just doesn't stack up, does it? How can he be this good at all these things?
All from, he did PayPal, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he goes on podcasts.
And not even like short half an hour stint, like interviews. He's there for like a couple hours. Well, he goes on Rogan for like 3 hours, but then he'll go on Lex Friedman for how long, hour and a half?
Yeah, he's been on there a few times, hasn't
he? Yeah. I don't know what other podcasts he does.
He streams his gaming as well, so it's not even like he's lying. Oh yeah, he's got Neuralink, boring company. He's on this new AI company, which is meant to be more ethical or something. Tesla, Solar City. So he's going to space. He's fighting the AI battle or whatever he's involved with AI. I've just seen. Oh, well, if you even just look at Tesla and just forget about the cars for a second, he's got like the Cybertruck. He's got some shuttle bus thing, and then he's testing these robots.
Oh
What you
yeah,
say?
it's Tesla robots.
Tesla robots, yeah. Um,
I feel like just talking about Elon Musk, we could go into anything we've put down on our list of things to talk about today because he's
and
that involved in everything.
yeah, it'll all come back to him.
Yeah, but
Um,
all right, let's get back to the quantum chip, and we'll talk about Elon in a bit.
so okay, well, I think quantum computing is crazy, right? Um, Well, we're going to look at it like, would you say it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Quantum computing. I
Yeah,
think I think it's a good thing. Um, it's only gonna improve our technology. It's going to take our technology to the extreme that we can't even predict of what it's going to do, especially with when it's integrated with AI. Well, there was that guy who went on Rogan, right? I can't remember the Japanese guy. Do you remember him?
no,
He basically said that like just forget about AI now, and quantum computing is going to be way bigger than AI. And once quantum computing becomes mainstream, that's when you're going to see AI really take off.
yeah, because AI is restricted until the computers can handle what AI because AI is like barking at the door, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and that's what OpenAI's issue was. Is there's only going to be, well, that's what their issue is. There's only so far they can take it with compute of current processing power, the world's current processing power. Once quantum computing becomes mainstream, then it probably takes it like an infinite level of where it could go. Like the minute it's good, but it's it's revolutionary at the minute, but it's not revolutionary in the sense it's gonna replace. Today, it won't be able to replace every job role, but with quantum computing, it probably can. And with quantum computing and robotics, then it's a whole different world we're living in.
Yeah. So you got quantum computing, AI, robotics. All of these are like fast on the rise, and then there would be no need for people to do anything. Everything will be done.
To go like down like I know we've done a lot of spiritual stuff on the podcast in the past, but to go down like a spiritual path, I was listening to a YouTube video yesterday. It was talking about the age of Aquarius. I don't know if you've looked into it much. You're basically saying that we've come out of the age of Pisces, which was all about where religion played a massive role in structuring humanity and structuring society. Whereas now it's going to be about the collective and how far we can push humanity. And basically saying that technology and AI is going to play a massive role in that, in bringing our collective consciousness together to be able to accelerate humanity. So apparently the age of Pisces ended in 2010, and now we're in the age of Aquarius, which is like it's a big crossover time. That's why the video was saying you're seeing loads of turmoil in the world because it's a crossover, and any kind of changeover like that, it always goes through tough times. But once we get out of those tough times, that's when you'll see humanity really prosper.
Yeah, I mean there are tough times, but at the same time, when you say that 2010 bracket, I was thinking about this the other day, right? Because with music, for example, I don't know if it's because I've got older or not, but since like around about the 2010 era on onwards, music's not really been the same as pre 2010. And then you start looking at movies, and I know there have been some good movies out, but they've all replicated what's already been done, but just in a better way with better technology and all that stuff. Like originality was seems like it was all pre 2010, and nothing today is as original as it was back then.
Yeah, when you look at it, like I think through art you can see it tells a lot about society, and it does feel like through art humanity has lost its not lost its way, lost its spark maybe.
Yeah, like it's losing originality, and
Like, it just feels a bit lost at the moment, but perhaps it could be due to a big changeover that's happening that you have to go through this period for us to then prosper and move on to the next level. Because saying like what will end up happening in the age of Aquarius is we'll become way more attached to um, like the natural running of the world, and humanity will start to understand a lot more about how to work with nature rather than like the past 100 years or so. We've just basically, or longer than 100 years, 200 years, we've just basically consumed, thrown away,
exploited
and
nature.
yeah, yeah, just exploited it for our maximum potential. But it's just like sort of like a level up. There's a level up process that we're going through where you've got a society has to break down for then to rebuild back up.
Yeah, to reheal. Did you watch the documentary on Netflix about consumerism?
No, but I saw it on there. I want to watch it.
Yeah, watch it. They use similar examples as you know one was talking before about the grain.
Yeah.
They basically like computer generated, obviously, but use the same example of like the amount of shit that we chuck in the bin, um, like every year or every few months, and then they fill like the streets of New York with it,
All right.
and then it's just like it's like have you seen them films where it's like a tsunami that hits New York and it just fills it with water?
Yeah.
It's like that, but with consumer goods, everything like shoes, hair dryers, pots, pans, just here. And I think it's only going off what the what Americans buy from Amazon as well,
Okay.
or something like that, something along
So
those.
I don't know if people's attitudes are changing, but I know my attitude has changed towards like waste, throwing things away, or buying things that you don't necessarily need. Or I don't like getting gifts that have just been like someone's thought, "Oh, I need to get him a gift," and then bought me something I don't really need, and then I just never use it, and then it goes in the bin in a year's time.
Yeah, well, it's like when you buy stuff like I don't know, like headphones, for example, or I did it with shoes like not long ago. It was like I kept buying these fairly not super expensive, but like they costed a little bit of money, like these branded trainers. And then after a couple of months of wearing them, you're like, oh, they've gone a bit tacky. And they're obviously built like that's they don't build them to think, oh, these are going to last a long time because they don't. These brands don't care. They think you're only probably going to wear it for like even if you get a year out of it, you'll probably see it as good. It's like crazy. But then that's having a certain shoe for a year, but yet you've got like 6 or 7 pairs which you keep flicking between, or even 3 or 4 pairs. Rather than just being, and then I just went and bought one premium boot, which hopefully would last a lot
Yeah, it
longer.
should last, and that's the thing. Like I think a few, I don't know if everyone does, but I see more people thinking about the longevity of things that they're buying now, rather than just buying for the sake of buying. I know I do anyway. I always like try to think, what's if I spend a bit more, will it last me longer? Rather than having to throw things away all the time. Or
And that's the same thing, like because technology's become like so, like computer monitors, you can go and pick up a computer monitor, it'll be some brand you've never heard of, and you could probably get it for 20, £30 or whatever. But it's not built to last very long. Same thing with headphones. You get probably pick up some headphones for a couple of quid.
yeah, well, I bought my parent-in-laws some headphones because they only want plug-in ones and ones that don't go in your ear, which are hard to find.
Like over ear ones.
No, ones that go in your ear but don't go all the way in. Do you know
Oh
what the
yeah,
rubber bit?
like
Yeah,
AirPods
and they were £4.50 for one pair of headphones.
with the wire.
Yeah, with the yeah,
£4.50.
well cheap.
That's insane. You bought them that as a present.
No, they bought a tablet and he wanted to watch a film on the plane, but he had
Yeah.
no headphones.
Oh right.
So I just went to Asda and got him. I was like, £4.50 is well cheap. But I don't know how long they're going to last. But they were the only ones there that were like that.
I've got wired headphones here, still in the packaging. Wired headphones that don't go in your ear as well, but I got them from an aeroplane. Do you know when you plug it in to watch the movie?
All right, yeah. They used to give you them free on the aeroplane, didn't they?
Yeah, no, these were included in the.
Okay, yeah. But I think a lot like um, when I bought them. Oh no, the night before they said they needed them. Um, we were having a discussion saying, like you used to get them in your phone with your phone, and you used to get a charger with it, but now you just get the phone. I know how like they're just trying to take every penny off you without giving you anything. And I was like, but I said I agree that they're probably doing that as cost saving measures, but also why do you need another charger if you've got one that works?
Yeah. Every single time, and the rapid way people are buying phones like I swear it's like every 2 years. Really, you're buying a new phone.
Mm. And the amount of like USB adapters I've got in a drawer is just insane. Like you don't need all them. Every time you bought like a tablet or Amazon Fire Stick or yeah something, it used to come with an adapter every time. I'm like, I've got loads of them in a drawer now. I'm just like, you only need one or two.
Yeah, Amazon's quite crazy as well because they sell everything. They sell like the tablets that are like £20 or something for a bloody a tablet.
Yeah, and they're like, because I remember we bought one years ago, and then I used it for like 6 months, and it just sat in a drawer.
Yeah, because they're really bad. But but if someone wants access to like crazy, it's still obviously a crazy amount of processing and whatever. But for 20 quid, it's relative to that much money. It's
Yeah, for 20 quid, you look at it as like a disposable product, don't you?
yeah.
And really, it's not a disposable product because it's a tablet that uses a lot of resources.
Yeah. Do you want to go on to another topic? I do. Right, I'm just going to go on to this metaverse one just because we're coming off quantum computing. Because I feel like I've linked these together, right? So we heard about metaverse. I don't know. When was it? Like 5 years ago now? It must have been like 5 years ago. It came
Yeah, I
made.
think it really blew up back end of 2021 when we were starting the podcast. That's when it really became popular. That's when Facebook changed the name around that time, like to back half of 2021. There's people were saying, I think Bill Gates said by 2024 everyone will be having meetings in the metaverse. Well, that's not happened, has it? But
Well, no, it's not happened. But I think what's happened is, and I don't know if it's obviously it must be because I'd seen Meta's marketing and it was all VR headset, bloody running around some computer generated town or whatever, playing poker. I've seen videos of them.
we went into the metaverse, didn't we? We did it on a VR headset. We did it just on
Yeah,
PC. I think did we do it on a podcast or did we do it before a
I think
podcast?
we just did it like offline. Um, what I've come to realize now is I don't. I think we're still going into the metaverse, but I don't think it is. I don't think we're going into it in the same way we were marketed it as, or the same way people imagined it was. Because we imagined, okay, you go in and you log into the metaverse. But I honestly think with the rise of quantum computing, the rise of AI, we're pretty much going into a metaverse already to a point where everything's going to be collated together into one big thing. So it'll be, I don't know, like ChatGPT, for example, you can literally do all of your work via ChatGPT now for majority of roles out there, unless it's like labor intensive. But then the robotics are coming up to take them roles. So everything's going to end up being pushed digital to a point where you've got no choice but you entering the metaverse because there's only a few companies that are running the shit anyway, as we've talked about like a million times. But if there is just one computer, a supercomputer or a quantum computer, which is powering an AI, whatever's like in the back end, it's partnered with this AI thing. Your only choice is to do nothing but use that computer or tune into that computer. And if it's with cloud technology, AR, VR might end up being the more comfortable way just to log in and check your shit because you won't need to go to an office space. You just log in that way, and then sooner or later you won't log out because you're not going to go and watch the TV because you'll stay logged in. Same thing that we do now on the computers, but it is just collating it all into one.
Yeah. No, I don't know so much for basically like we were at Emma's cousin's house and he's well cousins Emma's mum's cousin's house and they've got a son who's about 9 years old and he was there just out in the corner playing on his MetaQuest. Uh, he was, and then his mum and dad were saying that he's always in it. He's always just like playing these random games. I was looking at him. I was thinking like that generation, if they on it now, they're the ones who are going to be used to and comfortable being in it. Whereas our generation and above, it's like when you're sat at a desk working, or even if you're sat at a desk in the metaverse looking at a screen, you could look away and not you're not sucked into it. So I think it'll really take off when that generation grows older and they because they're going to be so comfortable in it. They're the ones who will push the technology to the older generations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it will be like us learning from our kids. How do I get Netflix on here? How do I get the football on?
But I think that's what it'll be like for I think for us because by the time it gets mainstream, well, I'm 30, so it's going to be say it's 10 years time I'll be 40. It's going to be like, oh, can I really be asked being in the metaverse? Like I've had 40 years of my life not doing it. It's going to take something really big for me to want to use it all the time.
Yeah, maybe like Meta themselves identified that, and that's why they've marketed it as like a Fortnite game.
Yeah, because at the moment it does look quite child friendly, childish.
Yeah, but then you compare it to Apple's. Have you seen Apple's?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've not seen anything of it recently though.
Say you was working from home or whatever, you can you don't need any screens. Like you can put as many screens as you want in, and you just need your keyboard. Well, for now, you just need your keyboard anyway.
You don't even need a keyboard, right? I think you can use the just the air and project a keyboard.
Yeah, that'll take some. What the hell is it? That'll take
Well, that
some.
guy go to that black geezer with the yellow that one. Yeah, that
Oh yeah,
one. So you see, he's got the keyboard projected.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
you can just read your hands, can't it? I think.
It must do. Yeah, you must just that just must be the new way of getting used to it. And what the hell's this guy doing, man?
He must just be using his keyboard on the laptop, right? And
Oh,
using the
maybe, yeah.
laptops.
But I can see this getting adopted sooner for our generation.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Um, just to go and log in. Like this is how Apple have kind of hit the nail on the head with. This is how you sort of do your work. So
From like a health perspective, what impact do you think it has on your eyes?
suppose it's eye strain, but it's genuinely considered safe for your eyes. Oh, you're talking about because of how close it is.
Well, just you're looking at a screen and only a screen, aren't you? And when you're working at your computer, the I remember the optician told me when I'm working at a computer, just make sure you look away every 20 minutes.
Yeah, because there's like when I've been doing work, like a long day's worth of work, and then I get in the car or something where I'm forced not to look at a phone or a TV or any screen. I just get this feeling of like pure relaxation.
Well, remember when we had Jay Brett on? He lived 24 hours in the metaverse, didn't he? Was it 24 hours or was it?
Longer. He had sleep. It was a long time. I think it was like a week. It was definitely longer than 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, and he said when he came out of it, he felt so good
Yeah.
to get back into like the real world.
So, but what, yeah, so what I think with the metaverse is what's going to happen is going from what you've said as well is the kids are going to use it, grow up with it for gaming and all that stuff. Then we're probably going to end up adopting it for work because if it's more efficient, if you can find work efficiency in it, and I think with the use of AI and everything now, everything's all about efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. Like, how can we do that faster? How can we do this faster? And it's like, oh, let's get two screens. Let's get some people have three, four screens. So instead of buying all of this hardware, you just buy one, and then you're in.
And with remote working, you essentially you go into the metaverse and then you're essentially clocking in. It's like going to an office and getting there for 9. You put your headset on for 9, working till 5. Whereas at the minute they don't know who's working and who's not.
Yeah, yeah, because people just log on and then go and lay down.
Because I know this business owner that he's found out like some of his staff are only doing like 2 hours a day.
That's like a work. That's a human problem, though, isn't it? There's like not a human problem, but a society problem or a I don't know a problem with the structure of work is that you're hiring all these employees you don't even need them. Um,
Yeah, but because there are not all the employees are pulling their weight, you end up hiring employees they don't need, and that's what sort of Elon went in when he went into Twitter. That's where he realised half these guys are just pissing around all day,
yeah,
uh, doing day in the life bloody TikToks,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
making it sound like it's like some kind of holiday camp at the headquarters.
yeah,
So he sacked a load of them, didn't he? Made it more efficient.
yeah. And that's why he's gone to government, like head of efficiency or whatever is the title is
But
there.
then when you look into something where there is just a thing that people need jobs and they don't actually do anything, they just got a job.
It's bullshit jobs.
Yeah, on Reddit.
Yeah, there's a Reddit thread for it, but there's a wicked a YouTube video where the guy really delves into it. If I can find the YouTube video again, I'll actually put it in the description because of this podcast. I'll send it to you as well. But yeah, it's basically that there's jobs out there which you can literally get, which are I think one of the jobs which he talks about quite a lot was there's jobs out there. Someone will sit in front of an email inbox, and as the email comes in, they'll assign it. They'll forward it to the certain person that needs to take that task on, and that was his job. And then, but he was saying like there was on a busy day for him would be like 15 emails came through.
You could literally, if you did that remotely, you could just do 2 jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then he was like, he got to a point. Well, there's a negative side of it, but yeah, he got to a point where he just put the emails on his phone, and he was just going around his day. Every time his phone vibrated, he would just forward it off. No one even he didn't even properly even have a manager or anything, and he just
Yeah, you just have to make sure those emails went to the right person.
yeah. He said he never fucked up anything in his like, whole career, but so he
Career. Can
no
you call
one
it a
ever
career?
no one ever pulled him on anything. So since the day he started, he was doing this. And I think what it was is he started and he was like, "Oh, just get on with this to sort of get into the role a bit, understand the business." And then he just ended up doing it forever because whoever set him that task didn't think that they were his responsibility or whatever. And whoever set him that task, they didn't think they were responsible for the guy. But the guy was set up doing that job, and it was his only job. And then because he never made any mistakes or didn't ever. But then again, if someone sends an email through in an inbox, I don't know what the emails were, but who's even going to know if he doesn't forward it? Because I'm guessing it's going to be external people reaching into the company to say, "Oh, I've got a problem with this," and he sends it off to complaints, or he sends it off to sales, or he sends it off to like product.
That's a job that AI could replace today.
Yeah. Well, that's a job that's probably already gone way before AI even became a thing, right? The like email forwardings and all this stuff.
Well, it depends if he's got to read the email and understand what the query is. But AI could read that now and understand what the query is. You program it to send it off.
Yeah. So then I went down this massive rabbit hole of looking at it all, and then on the Reddit, if you look on the Reddit thread, like bullshit. Shall I go on it now? See what's new on there. It's insane. People are getting paid like some people are like, on 100 grand a year, and they don't know what to do. This guy here, tips for doing meaningful stuff at work. That's the problem with it, right? Is it's creating such bad mental health for people. Like they don't know what this guy said. Creative work, even though I think this is the guy that wrote the book about it. He did meaningful creative work while on work role. He'll admit that the majority of us sit around and can't do anything better than look at memes. Got any tips for doing anything without getting in trouble? For me, I did creative writing in a Word document. I format the document with my work's letterhead and add a few more elements, pictures. So just this whole discussion in general is like insane.
To even like have that conversation, your job must be pretty shit.
My job we do is easy. Stupidity is stupidly easy and not enough work to do. I don't know what these people do all day of the time. Ooh, this guy's definitely in a bullshit job. He couldn't speak properly. Last week I swapped depart. I swapped department with someone, but it's exactly the same work. They were complaining that they never go in there before. I can't read that guy, man. He's giving me a bloody stroke. Just kept ticking box to say I'd done the task, so the report said the task had been done hundreds of times. No one noticed for 200 days. The task demonstrably never mattered. Layers of managers above me were faffing about, all always so busy being fools, talking about reports and actually doing nothing. This was at a company with a few hundred people, so it needs to be a large company,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
needs to be, yeah, 100%.
You got to hide within.
I think if you're going to do it at a small company, you'll get found out pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely. Does your job need to pay well to be considered? I what many jobs I spent how much time doing nothing more wages. Also, not living wage, at least in California, is definitely better than 7.25 an hour. Okay, that guy's asking a lot. So yeah, I would advise anyone just to go through and read. What this has changed into a different Reddit section. Just to read this. It's actually insane when you look into it. A lot of people are in these tech jobs as well, just like waiting for projects, which is probably the most common. In the UK, I think it's the most common one. When used to be in a house show, I used to work with a guy that I think he had to go in the office once a week or whatever, and that was compulsory. He had to do that, and it was literally to go in to see if there was a project he could take. And every
Yeah.
time there was no
My
project.
mate works at a company for like 4 years. A year of it, he was working on projects like, I think mainly so they could train him up. And then 3 years of it, he was just waiting for projects and literally didn't work anything, didn't do anything for 3 years. Then he moved company and he did 6 months of working, like training to get up to speed with the company. It was a year and a half of him doing nothing. It's just like he's getting paid a decent salary for doing fuck all.
It's just like these companies, it has to be a company that generates a lot of money and they've got a lot of expenses and they've got a lot of staff expenses. They've got a lot of people on payroll, enough so you can fall through the cracks, I guess, and not get discovered.
I think it might be a bit of a skill in itself, like falling through the cracks.
Yeah. Well, one of the Reddits that I went on, some guy was asking like, I need someone to teach me. He goes, I've got a perfect opportunity. I'm in a role or whatever. I can see people around me aren't doing anything. I can't ask them to give me advice. Like, I need someone who knows on here to give me advice on what to do. And I think like the advice that he got, was it oh no, I didn't read the advice that he got, but I read his next submission on the same thread and it was like, yeah, been just every so often stand up with some papers, walk around a few different offices, and sit back down, and no one queries anything. And he goes, the best thing to do is to stay vigilant, stay active, but you don't need to be doing anything on your computer.
Yeah. So if you like you work a hybrid role, just go into the office more often. Just make it look like you're seen. Maybe go to some bullshit meetings. Say a couple of things in the meeting.
But then, because he said like he always walked around the office with papers in his hand. No one, if you just walk around aimlessly, then you look like
Yeah, looking. You need to look busy.
if you got papers in your hand and papers on your desk and you got papers around you, then they're going to be like, fucking hell, he's snowed under.
So bad in it.
You don't need that much paper anyway. And like, when I'm working, I don't even use paper at all. Yeah, on that bullshit jobs thing, I just want to put out there. And if we're going to clip it, put this in the clip too. If anyone's had a bullshit job and wants to come on the podcast to talk about it, then reach out to us, email us, and come on. I might actually post that on the Reddit thread as well because even if we talk to a few people about it, it will be, I think.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll clip that segment, and then you can post that on the Reddit chat, and then just say if anyone wants to go on the podcast to talk about it, let us know.
Yeah, we would love a guest to come on.
Yeah. That would be good. That. Yeah. So we've spoken about Musk. I think whenever we do double podcast, like just us two on the podcast, Musk seems to be a topic of discussion. There was one part where we were following his whole Twitter purchase when we first set the podcast up, and each week we had a new update on it. But now he seems to be getting heavily involved in politics, and not just US politics, UK politics.
With Mr. Farage and the Reform Party.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago now, maybe over a month, him and Farage seem to have a good relationship, and he was apparently going to be a donor to the Reform Party.
Yeah, 100 mil was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 100 mil, which is probably nothing to him.
Yeah, nothing to him, but he'll go miles for the Reform Party.
Yeah. But recently, Farage and Musk have been in a bit of a disagreement. So in the UK, there's been a massive. Well, it's been an ongoing thing for God knows how long, years now, right? These Muslim grooming gangs, and there's been another not investigation. They've found out another grooming gang. I can't remember whereabouts it was. Do you know where it was?
No, I've seen it on crop up in places though.
This was quite a big one though. This one.
Oh yeah, Huddersfield. I know which one you're on about.
Yeah. And Musk has been very vocal on it on Twitter, and he's been advocating. What's his name? Tommy Robinson. And then Nigel Farage, as the Reform Party leader, I think he's decided to take a step away from Tommy Robinson and sort of disagree with everything Elon's saying. So they've gone into a bit of a dispute. Elon saying essentially that Nigel Farage is a hypocrite for not agreeing with what Tom Robinson's saying. But I was listening to podcast of the Lotus Eaters, and they were saying that Nigel Farage is a essentially being a bit of a pussy because he's not agreeing with what Tom Robinson's saying because of the UK class system.
Yeah, because he doesn't want the people that follow Tommy Robinson. He doesn't want reform to go the same way that the EDL went.
Yeah, but I think he knows. So after a little bit more, so I'll carry on a bit. So I think because of Tom Robinson's stature, and he has had a sketchy past, like the things he's been locked up for, the things he's done in his past is very sketchy. And I remember listening to Majid Nawaz when he was on LBC. I remember listening to him. He's saying that he used to speak to Tommy Robinson and used to say to him, "The things you're saying and the things you're doing are right, but the way you're coming across and the way you're presenting yourself is completely wrong, and it's not going to work." Because he does come across with that sort of yobbish attitude, and
Yeah, like he's a petty thug. That's his image.
yeah, which it doesn't work, does it? People aren't going to, well, the majority of people aren't going to buy into that. Um, so I think Nigel Farage is stepping away from that because of who Tom Robinson is. And yeah, I think he knows Tommy Robinson's supporters will still vote for reform because they have no other option. Not going to vote for Labour, not going to vote Tory. So I think he knows he can get away with sort of disassociating with anything to do with Tommy Robinson.
I wouldn't class him as a pussy for doing that.
Well, they're saying if he's not standing up for this, then he's involved in the establishment. He's basically playing the establishment game to gain votes.
Yeah, I guess if he's actively disagreeing with what Tommy Robinson's saying instead of because like you could say something to me, right, and I could agree with it, but not agree with the way you're saying it, and I could say fair point, but do you know what I mean? I could agree and disagree with you because I'm disagreeing on the way you're saying it, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying, and I could portray that out to the public quite obviously.
Yeah, and perhaps maybe he doesn't want to agree with what Elon's comments, agree with Tom Robinson, and then potentially Elon give him 100 million and say you got to have Tom Robinson as an MP.
Is that what Elon said that you need Tommy?
I don't think he is, but perhaps it could go down that, and Farage is watching his back because he doesn't want it to go down that road. But I think it's on the podcast of Lotus Eaters or something else I was listening to. They're saying that Douglas Murray says very similar things to Tommy Robinson, but because Douglas Murray is from a different class to Tommy Robinson, Douglas Murray is allowed to say it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That and he's gay as well.
Yeah. So because of the way he talks, the way he articulates himself, he's allowed to say it, whereas Tommy Robinson isn't allowed to say it because of the background he's come from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is a true point. That's a very true point because last time I was listening to Douglas Murray was when all the Israel stuff was happening, and I was listening to him thinking he's saying some harsh things here, and he's saying them. He wasn't saying them with any filter or anything. He was just saying them, and I was like,
But I think it's like the vocabulary he uses, the way he presents himself. Like he always dresses smart. He talks with a like an upper class accent. Um, Whereas if Tommy Robinson was saying that, he wouldn't be using the same words. He'd be talking a lot like it sounds a lot more brutal the way he says things
yeah, 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 yeah.
because he comes from that like working class background.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then that's why he's got so much popularity with lower class people because lower class people can't relate to people like Douglas Murray. But you have to at least go out of your way to really relate to him and understand what he's saying. Whereas people like Tommy Robinson, it's like he says it so plain and black and white. It's just like it's so easy to manipulate these people that don't have the same sort of education.
Well, yeah, on the podcast Loyalties, they're basically saying it's a Elon Musk and these people in the States who are supporting Tom Robinson don't understand the UK and UK class system. Because it is a thing, and I've never really thought about it, but it is a thing. Because people don't look up to people like Tom Robinson if they think they're above him in the class system. If a middle class person wouldn't listen to a working class person because they think, oh, middle class, like I don't need to listen to you, you're just working class.
Yeah, your idea doesn't like it has no whatever idea you're coming out with. It doesn't have any significance to me because that's a you problem basically, and our problems are different to your problems.
Yeah, because I don't know if that class system is as big in America or as strong. I think there is some class system there, but I don't think it's as.
No, I think it will be there, but we just like the Americans don't know about ours, we won't know about the Americans because we've not lived it. We only see Americans from TV.
Mm, yeah, but then you've got people like Trump, for example, who manages to get the working class, the middle class, and some of the richer upper middle class people on his side and talks about the same things Tom Robinson, Douglas Murray are talking about.
I think we're in a bit of a stranger position though, where US have a very solid two-party choice. Maybe because of the size of the country, they're a bit different to ours. Ours feels a little bit more intimate, where we feel like we've got a few more choices. So then we can express ourselves a bit, as we are doing with Nigel Farage and even Tommy Robinson being brought up. We can express ourselves in a bit of a different way than Americans can. Americans very much like, yeah, like this side or that side. Like that's it. Just pick one. So then when Trump comes, it's like, well, he's saying things that I can sort of be a bit more in line with.
Yeah, it's like here, for example, people, the working class are more on Farage's side, whereas the middle class and upper middle class might be, some of them might be thinking about Farage, but then they're like, oh, like I'm right wing anyway, I'll just vote Conservative. Like just as my dad's done, just as my granddad did. Whereas in America, you've got either Republican or Democrat. You're gonna vote one. If you're right wing, you're voting Republican. If you're left wing, you're voting Democrat. But if you're in the middle, you're going to be bouncing between the two.
I just googled Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson, and it says Elon Musk's father believes Tommy Robinson will become prime minister.
Yeah. Also, side note, Andrew Tate set up a political party.
Oh yeah, he's running. He wants to be prime minister. Yeah,
Yeah.
watch his video.
I don't know if that will end up happening, but
Yeah, we say that now. Let's remember this soundbite because in like 4 years' time, we'll be like, "Holy shit, he's got a massive fucking following," and it will just be all these kids, and that's when you know it's getting a bit of a joke. Everything's getting to a bit of a joke. If he gains popularity with his party, then that's a cherry on the top of the cake. That politics is a joke.
but on Lotus the podcast he is podcast for Lotus he is. I've not listened to it for a while, but I was listening to it the other day when they're talking about Farage and Elon, and they seem like heavy advocates of what did they call it? Remigration, I think it was called.
Remigration.
Yeah, I think they use that term.
Oh yeah, far right.
Yeah, basically it just means start removing people from the country. Where do you draw the line with that one?
Well, low hanging fruit. I mean, the first steps you can take are the people that.
Yeah, you're basically saying the people who are net producers, keep them. So people who actually add to the economy, keep them, and get rid of the ones who aren't bringing anything to the table. Ones who have criminal records, get rid of them. Um,
You can walk down the street on bloody Tuesday at 11 a.m. or even at 3 p.m. and you can probably see the most of the people that are just hanging around doing nothing are from another ethnical, ethnical background.
Like I think Bradford, like Bradford's probably one of the highest populations of minorities or Muslims.
Yeah, you need a visa to get there.
I think they've got the highest unemployment rate in Yorkshire.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Trying to think what the connection there could be.
I think if you're not bringing anything to the country, then you shouldn't
Yeah,
be
then you
benefiting
can't
from the
eat.
country.
Yeah, if you're not bringing anything to the table, then you can't eat the food. And but then it's like the problem with that is there's a lot of English people that also don't bring anything to the table.
Yeah,
So probably yeah. It's well that's I think that's where the problem comes though, isn't it? It's like, well, I guess they've earned the right kind of to not do anything. But
yeah, but where can they go? Do you know what I mean? Like you can't send
yeah,
them back to where they came from.
that's the thing.
But then it's about the UK needs to start looking after its own people first. Like there's people on the street, but people who come over on boats are getting put in nice hotels and getting fed. I imagine if you did that for everyone on the street.
And it's cold out there at the moment.
Mm. I know some of the people on the street, like sometimes I do look at them. I think like the other day I went shopping and they were sat outside Aldi and they were blasting like rave tunes
Who?
on the speakers. Two homeless guys, and I was like, I looked at them. They look like like all the life has been popping pills, going raving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking like, there's probably a reason why you're there, isn't there?
Yeah, they find it hard to adjust back into normal life after a heavy youth.
So I do think like with some of I won't say all of it, but some of like the homeless problem is I don't know because you don't know why the reason why they're what they're trying to escape from.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know anyone's story. Yeah,
But then money should be spent on those people trying to
rehabilitate them.
rehab them, get them back to working and back in society. But then I feel like as well some of them are choose not to go back into society. They've been doing it that long.
Yeah, and then the other side of it is like oh, that's what it is. I was thinking of I read that Charles Bronson could get let out of prison. I think he's like 79 or 75 or something, and he could get let out of prison. And obviously been in there since what, like his 20s or whatever, like 50 years or whatever, maybe more. Oh yeah, if he's in his 20s, it would have been like 50 years, 50 to 60 years he's been in prison, and they're gonna let him out. And it's like, if you think about it, a lot of the people at home has probably been in prison for a long time, come out, and life 50 years ago was not the same life that we're living now. The life 30 years ago isn't the same life that we've got right now. This is insane. For people to come out of prison and adjust to this is,
Yeah, especially if you've done a long stint.
yeah, if it's been over 30 years in prison, then you're going to come out and struggle. Like, imagine that you've come out, you've not got any qualifications. The jobs that are available to you, there's not many of them because a lot of, obviously, bear in mind the age as well, they can't go and start bricklaying or whatever.
He'll be all right though because he'll just jump on some podcasts.
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine. But it made me think about other
He's
people
a
that,
celebrity now, isn't he?
yeah, 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 he's got movies. He'll make a bloody documentary, man, Netflix. He'll be done. He'll do a Netflix documentary and retire with a big house.
Yeah, but he has spent most of his life in prison.
Yeah. Um, yeah, well, if people are coming out of, oh, and he's from Luton as well. Luton looks very different to when he lived there.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so he'll come out, and well, other people come out, and there's not many. Well, I don't know what the prison. I know the prison. That's a whole podcast in itself. The prison system. Um, from what I've seen and what I know about it, they don't equip people to the real world for when they release them out.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Not equipping people. But yeah, that's Musk and Farage's disagreement. I don't know if how that's going to end. Maybe Musk will just disassociate himself with Farage. Maybe Farage. There's people saying that Farage needs to step down now because he's not right for the Reform Party.
They've said that since day one, since he came in. Like he can. It's like when a company does really well. If you look at the Reform Party as a company, he's brought reform into a place where it has an opportunity of coming into power. It might actually be time for him to step down and anyway and say, "I've taken it here. We just need someone else to get it across the finish line," because he's not really got the best. He's not got the best image of it anyway.
Yeah, maybe he does step down, but I don't know. I don't know much about it to think of a successor.
Yeah, there'll be someone that even like it'll be someone random.
Yeah, someone we don't know. He's probably got an idea in his head who he would want to be his successor. So if he just passes the reins over to that person, and then he's obviously still going to be a senior member of the party because it's a party in it. He's the founder of it, so
It's funny that you said that you don't know who could be a successor because it's funny, right? Because to me, that party seems like the most logical party in the terms of how they think and what they want to do. It's all very logical. It's like let's just get us out of the shit that we're currently in. And if you think about like people like Douglas Murray, Nawaz, all these people are also logical thinkers that, and their thoughts tie in quite well with the Reform Party.
Douglas Murray, would you class it? Would you say you're a politician now?
No, no, I'm not saying he should be a politician. What I'm saying is like we're saying it would be hard to find someone that would be his successor is because of how cloudy the whole political system isn't, and we're so used to weird people being in power that have like weird underlying regimes that we can't say that we're saying it. Oh, it'd be well, I can't imagine the successor because we can't imagine someone logically thinking being in power.
Yeah, because these people aren't in the limelight. Hmm. Or they're not considered serious politicians.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see with that. I think he probably will step down. I reckon. Maybe I don't know. Don't know. He might be able to turn it around because, like I said, they're still gonna the Tom Robinson fans will still vote reform because there's no other option for him.
Yeah, until bloody Andrew Tate comes out.
That's a problem, though. If he gains popularity, it's a problem for reform because it just means the Tories or Labour are going to get back in.
Oh yeah, Bruv Party.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just he's a class marketeer, and he Andrew Tate. I don't know whether he's just doing it because people talking about it.
The people that say this about the exact same thing about Donald Trump though.
Yeah, perhaps they did before 2016.
Because was it not? There's a video with Barack Obama saying to Donald Trump publicly, "Oh, I'm president. You'll never be president."
Andrew Tate's a bit different to Trump, though, really.
Yeah,
Just the name of his party like sums it up. It sounds like something you'd see on a comedy movie.
I just googled Andrew Tate's political party. I've gone down to the second page of Google, which I don't do often. Glamour UK. It said, "How afraid should women be of with what's happening with the far right?" And it's got a picture of the. I'll just show you the article. How afraid should women be of the far right? And it's got a picture of Elon Musk, Nigel Farage, and Andrew Tate in angles. Glamour UK.
What's Nigel Farage ever done against women?
As long as Nigel Farage and Andrew Tate tussle for power, many of us are increasingly concerned about the rise of the far right. One thing I definitely love is these like shitty
This
journalists.
is a nonsense article. This is.
Yeah, Glamour UK is massive though, isn't it? But I just love this
Yeah.
shy.
It's just making a story out of nothing.
Yeah. They've look at this. Andrew Tate, the far right influencer, currently facing criminal charges of rape and human trafficking in Romania, which he denies. Appears to have launched a political party.
Alongside, what? Go up. Alongside other AI image illustrated policies.
Eh? Restore masculinity and strength alongside other AI image illustrated policies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know what that means. AI image illustrated policies.
The X account, which was briefly suspended, already has over 100K followers. That is the scary part of the
It's got 100,000.
yeah his political party.
The X account got suspended. Did it say?
The X account, which
Which is
was
briefly
briefly
suspended.
suspended. Is that while the ideas in the manosphere traditionally exist in digital spaces such as YouTube videos, podcasts, or social media, we're in the manosphere right now.
In the UK, men aged between 18 and 24 were twice as likely as women to vote for Reform UK, albeit still only 12%. I think this is down to like similar to what Mike says, right? Is a lot of people vote politically based on how they feel, and like women are known to be more emotional than men. But whereas men tend to be, not all men and not all women, but tend to be more logical than women. Like the extremes.
45% of only 45% of young men think that feminism is still important because women remain disadvantaged in society compared to 78% of young women.
I think these kind of articles just add fuel to the fire of the battle of the sexes.
Yeah, it's just this. The whole article is just made to just shake everyone, shake both men and women. Well, it's hitting everything here. Manosphere, US Trump, Manosphere, Joe Rogan, busting with the boys, Logan Paul, hyper masculine ideology. It's the only reason Trump won.
What the fuck?
Should women be nervous about subset of men? It's about right wing parties and right wing views.
Hating on everyone there.
The thing like so many of them people that we spoke, we bring their names up in the podcast.
All right, should we go on to the next topic? The NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, believes that the robotics market is about to explode. So this sort of falls in line, I reckon, with what we've been talking about, AI and quantum computing. It all is going on an upwards trajectory. And we mentioned briefly about Elon's Tesla robots. I think they're on sale now, right? 30 grand.
Yeah, is it how much they cost? I don't know how much they cost.
I think they're at 30 grand.
What's the usability of them though? What can they actually do for you?
Right, yeah. So the Optimus is named after the Transformers character.
Yeah, it says for the Transformers characters. See,
so he's also known as a Tesla bot. Is a general robotic humanoid under development by Tesla. It was announced on August 19th, 2021. Prototype shown in 2022. Has the potential to be more significant than Tesla's vehicle business over time.
yeah, definitely. It'll be a household product. That's why.
Yeah.
I can see you even having a couple of these bad boys.
Musk said Optimus will be able to perform a wide range of everyday tasks in and outside of the home, and he estimated that the robot will be available to purchase at around $30,000. It's going into limited production this year, 2025, with plans of over 1,000 to be used in Tesla facilities and the possibility of production for other companies in 2026.
Yeah, that's kind of mad. That like, if you think about the robots will be making themselves,
Yeah.
will be putting themselves together.
Optimus is planned to measure 5 foot 8 inches, 173 centimeters for our European friends, and weigh 125 pounds or 57 kg. Yeah, so this is not too heavy. So if it tries to fight you, you could probably fight it back.
Yeah, you say that, but it will weigh all this like it'll weigh light, but it'll have like supersonic strength still.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you're gonna,
57 kg is still pretty heavy. If it's like on top of you, you like the
yeah,
average person would probably struggle to get it off.
it's like a skinny person, isn't it? Still,
Yeah,
but it must have like motors and stuff in it. I don't know. To like, if it's gonna like, because if you were doing your garden or something, you would get that to carry the bricks.
yeah, it starts launching bricks at you.
I was watching the video of it trying to climb up or climb down like a muddy hill.
All right, did it do it well?
Yeah, do you know when you slip as a human and you catch yourself, like you're like, poof, I try and find the video. Yeah, you see what I mean? And it slips, it like
Oh
catches
yeah,
itself.
well, we'd be going down that hill slowly.
I think it slips here. There, that's
Oh
it.
yeah, I caught itself.
And then the second time it does it, it learned from its
Learn.
mistake from the first time. You see what I mean? He does it the first time, he slips, and then he does it again the second time. He's learned
Yeah,
from how he slipped last time. So that's the scary part, right? If you piss it off, or if you like push it and it like faults, and then the next time you like do that action, it thinks, "Oh, I'm gonna need to stop this from happening," and it fucking rips your arm off. Like, okay, that's that will happen again now, and it doesn't understand.
do you reckon things like that will happen like initially?
Yeah, it definitely it has to because right. Imagine these robots going to be in. Let's just imagine like they're in everyone's home. Like you've got one there, I've got one here, or you've got multiple. I don't think the coding or whatever the AI system that works will be able to account for every single scenario that could possibly
Yeah,
happen to
because
them.
there's so many things, so many variables. I think over time they'll program it to not do that, but I reckon the first few people that have it will probably end up having some injuries from it.
Yeah, yeah, they got murdered from it.
I don't know about murdered. Maybe there could be a possibility like accidental.
Yeah,
Because yeah, in the real world, there's so many variables.
yeah, like an infinite amount. Like you might slam the door and not know it's there, and it's like it's never known about a door slamming in its face or something.
Yeah, or it's there and it gets hit by a door once. You do it again like a month later, it learns and punches through the door.
Yeah, it just dismantles your door whilst you're away and puts it in the bin to say this was a problem.
And just they are weird, aren't they? Do you reckon they'll know how to drive?
Well, I don't think they'll even need to get in the car, will they? Because Tesla, the Tesla will drive you. I know a lot of critics, you call them critics. A lot of people have been saying that it's nothing. It won't. It will never ever go mainstream. Physically, no way it can happen.
Why did they say that?
Just like I guess it's from what we've been saying. Like, yes, they might be okay in like a factory, but I don't think they can integrate with humans. I think that's what the problem
At the
is.
minute, though, right? There is a safety concern there, which will probably need to be thoroughly tested.
There's that movie with Megan Fox. I think I told you about it. The Subservience.
Yeah,
I think that one's a really good case study of. Well, I know it's obviously a fictional movie, but it's a good case. It's rated terribly, but it's a good case study on like a realistic problem that could be identified by having a robot that could arise from having a robot. Do you want me to give you a spoiler, or are you gonna watch it? Just tell you.
yeah. I'll watch it. Well, yeah, you can just give me a spoiler because I'm not like it's not an amazing movie, is it?
No, no, you're not missing out on anything. Well, but basically, like they're talking to it, giving it commands and prompts. So if you're thinking about it as a algorithm or an AI algorithm, they're giving it prompts like his wife says, "Oh, look after him, make sure his needs are met and everything." And then she obviously, with it being Megan Fox anyway, thinks sex. So I've got to give him sex. And then he's like, "Don't do this, do that," or the child's crying. So these are big spoilers, but whatever. The child's crying, and he's like, "What do you say?" Like, "Oh, such a nuisance," or "so much chaos." So then she thinks the baby's chaos and negative things. So then whenever the baby's crying, she's like, "Do you want me to shut the baby up?" And then he's like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's my baby. I'll take care of it, him or her or whatever." And then she's like, "Oh
Yeah. But it's like Chat GPT in it. If you say something to it and you use the wrong words, then it's gonna, like just go off on one about the wrong thing.
yeah, 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 yeah."
Well, imagine that as a robot walking around your house. Humans say just like things they don't necessarily mean. Like humans are literal.
Yeah, and in England as well, we're the most sarcastic people in
Yeah.
the world.
Like in our everyday speech, we're not literal about anything, really. Like, but robots need literal language. Not comprehend like sarcasm. They can't comprehend if you say, "Oh, it's pissing me off." They're just gonna think, "Oh, it's fucking pissing him off." Like, let's sort it out.
And it's like quantities as well, right? If you say, "Go and grab me some," I don't know, "Go grab me some beans from the shop." Some beans could like, be three or four individual beans. It could mean 12 tins of beans.
Yeah. Whereas if I said that to like you, for example, like, can you go get some beans from the shop?
They'll go get like a pack of
You get
beans.
yeah, like a one packet of beans or one can of beans.
And then there's that word some, go get some beans, or go get some, I don't know, what's like a bigger thing? Like something bigger and crazier, which some would only mean like two. Get two of them. But then I guess it would learn like from what you're doing. It'd be like, oh, he needs beans. I've seen him do beans before. This is what he needs. They'll go get you the exact amount of beans and you don't even know. Say, oh, I'm cooking for my family. I need some beans. Then it'd be like, get it down to the bean.
Yeah, counted. Last time you made beans, you did this many beans. So I brought you this many. Yeah, but I've been looking at them robot hoovers.
Oh yeah, I was looking. They're well expensive.
Yeah, no, they look good though. You can set it so it does it for like same time every day. Just goes around your house hoovering. Yeah, I think like entry level ones are like 400 quid, and then for like the higher up ones, they can go up to like over a grand.
Yeah, I think the Dyson one's like 2 grand or something. 1,000, like 1,200 actually. There's one here. It's 20 grand. Um, so just like talking about the topic of robotics. I remember like when I was working for a company that like delved into robotics. This was like in 2020. They were all like robotics is going to be like one of the everyone in the whole industry of like tech or it was in connectivity, but you know with like IoT and stuff. Like they're saying robotics is going to be the number one driver because out of everything, I know AI is here to replace the mind, but nothing's built to replace labor, and labor is such a big. If you look at like the how the iPhone gets made, it's labor that gets exploited and fucked over. Construction, if you look at like the Saudi construction, all the laborers get fucked, um, and they all get fucked because they want the cheapest possible labor that they can get.
Yeah, but if they can get just pay a robot to do it, like this costs 30 grand. Like that's someone's salary for a full year. But this robot can do it for forever, pretty much. Well, for as long as it lasts.
And it can work like 23-hour days or whatever. Say it needs an
Yeah,
hour to
it's
charge.
yeah, like it's probably got 4, 5, maybe 6 times the output as a human, maybe more than that. Because it's not going to get bored. It's not going to need to eat.
It's not going to get tired. It's not going to get. it probably won't get injured at all as much as a human because it won't make as many mistakes.
No. Well, do everything perfectly, and exactly the same over and over. The repetitive task will just be if he does the repetitive task over there and he's done it 500 times, the fifth 500th one is going to be exactly the same as the first one. Whereas if a human did that, the 500th one is not going to be as good as the first one because they're going to be tired, going to get bored. They
Yeah,
might
yeah, yeah. It's
think
like,
about
for
the things.
example, you see like what's a street cleaner, for example. You probably in your head, if you're imagining one, it's probably some like oldish guy moping down the street, picking up one out of every three things that he sees that he walks past, putting them into his bin. Whereas if it was a robot, and then you won't see a mess anywhere.
Yeah,
So it's like the maintenance of things as well that robots are insane for. If you're talking about like a Hoover for your home, the maintenance of like sewage systems.
yeah. You can just send them down there. Like humans don't really want to be in the sewers that long. Whereas a robot, you could send a robot in and they'll just go clean the whole thing.
Yeah. And I've watched like a video of a human working on a big cargo ship, and they have to go down and like do underwater welding to repair it because they can't get out of the water. That job in itself must take like days to be able to complete.
I think they get paid shed loads, them guys.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up
Yeah,
because when you're underneath it, it's pitch black in it because you're underneath
yeah.
the cargo.
It's a high risk job. That's what it says, isn't it? Like it's going to do risky jobs where humans get paid shitloads to do it, and there's like the ones who maintain those electricity, them big electricity things. They got to climb all the way to the top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think on towers as well. If they've got to change the bulb in the tower, someone's got to climb all the way up, change that bulb in the tower, and climb. And they get paid. I think like quite a bit of money just to climb up, change that bulb, and come back down.
yeah. And it
You got
probably
a
takes
robot
them a
doing it. It's
full
like
day as well.
yeah, and they got to get
So
out the harnesses, and probably the company's got to pay for loads of insurance for that person. Mm. If you're a robot, you probably just paying insurance for owning the robot, which is probably going to be similar to car insurance.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if that falls off the thing and basically can't be fixed,
Yeah, it's not a
um,
life lost, is it? It's just a
yeah, you just replace it.
one.
Because if
Yeah.
a person, then you've got to pay the person's family off, and you've got to put in new safety measures, and you've got to get regulators
But
out.
so the person, if a person happens to a person to that family, it's that person's income has been taken away from them.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um,
Like the income for the rest of their working life. So say they're 35 years old and they fall off, then that's an income then till say 65 when they retire. That needs to be replaced.
the question that I've got about robotics in this NVIDIA segment, I know we're talking more about, I guess you're talking about him exploding the market, but
It's mainly a topic about robotics rather than Nvidia. It's just that he made the comment the other day at that big tech thing that's going on at the moment. What's it called? CES 2025.
oh, yeah.
Mm. So he said it there. That's one of his when he's given what do they call them? What
A keynote.
keynote? That's it. Yeah, yeah. So he said that at one of the keynotes there. I was listening to Jake Tron.
Yeah.
I listened to for bloody ages as well. I just put this video on. And he was talking about how companies, like how wealthy people think, and he's saying like if you look at Nvidia, they just think they just have ideas. They don't. They outsource all of their work to what's that Taiwanese semiconductor company. All their work gets outsourced to them, whereas Nvidia just come up with the ideas and then outsource it to them to produce it. But Nvidia worth I think like 10 times more than that company. And it's basically saying like if you want to get like break out of to the next level, you can't think, oh, I've got this business idea, I'll work on it myself. You need to think, I've got this idea, who can I get to implement it for me?
Yeah, he could do it. That was better than me. Yeah. And was it Elon Musk? And someone said if you're hiring people that aren't as good as you, then you've got a problem where you need to be the best person in the room, which is you need to be hiring people. So if you get like a CMO, a chief marketer, or a chief technology officer, or a chief financial officer, they all need to be far better at marketing or technology or finances than you do. Yeah, NVIDIA is a good example of that. Actually, now you put it in that. Um, did you see that they put they brought that new graphics card out, which is insane. Um, well, it's like a quarter of the cost of the one it's competing with. Um,
No.
all right, let me show you this other thing first. Actually, it's even better because you was talking about Nvidia. I'm going The Verge. Do you read The Verge?
I used to, not much. No.
Loved it. All right, so it's this here, right? So they've announced this $3,000 computer, which I think is like mass market price, right? And the desktop itself, this is the thing with Nvidia, right? If they're doing something like this, that means it's the real deal. I know when other companies do it, they're trialing it, they're testing it, seeing if it's ready for the market. I feel like when Nvidia do something, they're doing it for a good reason. They're not doing it just to test the market.
Yeah, a bit like Apple, right? Like they will only bring something to market when they know it's ready.
Yeah, when they know there's a market for it, yeah, when the market's ready for it. But I feel like Apple do it in a different way where they sort of push the market like you are ready. Come on, you are ready.
Yeah,
Whereas I think in the video, like, holy shit, let's do it. It's about to there's market the people need this right now. So it's a computer which is built purely for um for AI, the use of AI. So now we're using like ChatGPT and stuff to help us on our computers. They've been like, okay, let's actually give them a product which is built for this thing. So where is it? AI will be mainstream in every application, so it's saying. So like, Adobe Photoshop, everything will have AI. Um, every single platform possible. So imagine if you're using like in a day-to-day job, like if you're a digital creator or a creator of sorts, you probably use like at least 4 or 5 different softwares to get your shit done. And if they've all got high performing AIs, they all need to first of all work together, and then they all need to be able to work simultaneously. So this GB10 chip, I don't know what this petaflop means, but it's all built, and they've done the graphics card as well. I guess that's where they're going to test it with the graphics card. But it's all built around the performance of AI. It can perform 1 quadrillion AI calculations per second.
1 quadrillion.
One circles are on that bad boy.
27.
27. So it's the one above whatever the one was what we said.
Yeah, septillion or something.
Um, yeah. So look at this fucking size of it, man. Like, look at the size of this
Yeah,
thing.
it's tiny.
And this is,
How did they cool it?
well, I think it's the chip designs now. I think the chip designs don't get as hot
Okay.
because I think what they've noticed, right, is ChatGPT came out, right, and that was probably one of the biggest, what do you call it, like inventions or whatever that we've probably ever seen in our lifetime. Because
Mm.
we came in and computers were already knocking about. But I think, at least in our adult lifetime, it's the biggest invention that we've ever seen. And as soon as that came out, like look at life now. Every single Tom, Dick, and Harry is building like a AI system.
Yeah.
So
Like everything and anything has some AI implemented into it.
yeah, and on top of it, every single person's adopting AI because everyone's using it. Because you
Yeah.
can't not use it at this stage. I don't think. Because if you're not using it, then Jesus.
Yeah, this is why their share prices is like flown absolutely flown.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, so since 2022, it was worth. I'm just picking a random day, 7th of October 2022. It was worth $12, and now it's worth 140.
That graphing, it's got 5 years. So let's compare that to like Apple, who everyone thinks
That's 1,000%.
those have just been flying over a period of time. Now, I think Nvidia is going to be the biggest company ever, and they sound like it's on Nvidia. It sounds like a bloody sci-fi film where
Yeah,
they're like Nvidia Corp. Like they've got big
yeah,
ass skyrise uh, buildings that you walk into when a fucking robot comes and gets you a drink.
yeah. It's like a dystopian sci-fi movie where
Yeah,
Nvidia runs the world.
yeah, literally.
Nvidia and Tesla run the world.
Yeah, literally. And they're competing against each other.
Nice. Tech is going insane at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a good podcast to do this one, but primarily around tech because I think we're at a tipping point now. AI's become like more household name. I feel like we're at a tipping point where the companies like Nvidia can really adopt it.
Yeah, yeah. I think like this next year, 2 years, you're still going to see. You're seeing companies starting to implement it, but yeah, I think you'll start seeing mass adoption now.
Yeah, like serious adoption.
Yeah,
Because if Nvidia are building a machine that is basically built for people to develop AI, then it was endless, then, isn't it?
yeah. All right,
All right.
that was a good one.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right, cheers, guys.